two 140 fans on the front, two 120 on the power supply shroud, and one 120 at the rear. This is ANTEC's P30 AIR, and you also have it in addressable RGB version. But I really wanted to go with this kind of slick design because we're having a almost fully mesh, let's say fully mesh because the backside panel isn't, but regardless of that, fully mesh and quite nice aesthetic with the wooden part here on the front. It isn't tack, it's just one straight line with the ANTEC logo on the front. So with the P30 AIR we enter something completely different from ANTEC, which does change the whole visual aspect of the chassis. First and foremost, what I noticed is when they placed the two 120 here on the power supply shroud, they didn't go with the unnecessary cutting here where the power supply actually is, so this is closed off. It could be a potential for something else, but that's totally irrelevant because we're not driving that much 2.5 inches as these. And regarding that, you do have loads of possibilities at the back, but we'll get to that part later on, of course. So when we go with the mesh part, you have it here throughout the whole front part of the power supply shroud. You have it on the front and you have it on the front for the two 140mm fans. What you have is a possibility to place a 360 radiator at the top, which is kind of regular for this type of design. And then we go with rubber grommets around the openings. Now the two side ones are quite alright and I don't have anything against that. Normal size, even the 24 pin goes straight directly towards the motherboard, so you don't have that flex of the cables and anything similar to that. But the top ones are a bit, you do have rubber grommets, you do have an openings, you have actually two of those. But what I wanted to say regarding that is the holes are just a bit too small. You know, when you have a PWM addressable RGB from the AIO, and then you have a PWM from the fans, and you have additional stuff that you want to connect up there for the, you already know, right? It's just too tight to push all the cables through because the rubber grommet does take a bit of a space from the hole to push out everything, but yeah, that's it. So when you place a 360 radiator at the top, what you get is a bit smaller access point for those PWM and addressable RGB headers here at the top. So I would suggest connecting the 8-pin EPS prior to everything because the motherboard is around 3.5 centimeters from the top of the chassis, but it's moved inside just to get the clearance for the 360 radiator. Now with that you don't get a wide case, so that means the back connect is not possible in this chassis. You don't simply have the openings, plus you don't have the space at the back for a back connect. But for a regular cable management, you have more than enough space. Now, when I'm mentioning that, on the side you have 3 Velcro straps that you can reorganize the cables, and the backside is around 2.5 centimeters of clearance for that cable management that I mentioned. So when we move forward, for the power supply you have a dust filter, on top you have a magnetic dust filter, and on front and on the side it's just perforated mesh steel, so there is no dust filters here. But honestly, I don't think there is any necessity for that. I think this is quite alright. So when we're talking about compatibility, the power supply really doesn't have any limits, but for the GPU you have 405 millimeters, which is more than enough. For the cooler 175, that is also outstanding. And for the radiator, as you can see, you can go with 360. For the fans, you could go on front with 2140 or 2120 on the power supply. I mean, in this type of case where you get pre-installed fans, the possibility to mount different type of fans is totally irrelevant because you already have the maximum occupation of the fans inside the case. And since I'm talking about the fans, the airflow is really good because you have these two that are intake, you have the two ones on the front that are also intake, and there's no obstruction here. If you do a proper cable management, nothing will obstruct a nice airflow from the bottom towards the GPU, and we'll get to that part also quite soon. And then you have the exhaust here at the rear. Shame they couldn't fit 140, but then again it's quite solid because you do have from the radiator you have 3 doing the exhaust, so that's 4 against 4. but take that into consideration that on front you have two 140. So regarding that, visual aspect is great. You don't have any possibility for vertical GPU mount. You do have this locking mechanism with the thumb screw here for the PCI expansion slots, which you have 7 of those. So basically, I'm running a GeForce RTX 5080 from PNY, which is a 3-slot card, but still you have 3-4 centimeters of clearance from these fans, so you could go with even thicker cards. And summing it all up, I think that's it. When we take into consideration the front I/O panel, we have a power on button, 2 indication lights, reset button, headphone and microphone combo jack, so that's 4-pole 3.5mm jack, 2 USB 3.0 and 1 USB Type-C 3.2 generation 2, 10 gigabits per second. At the back, you have one caddy for 2.5-inch SSD, which is located right at the back of the motherboard on the bottom part. And for the hard drives, you can go with two 3.5-inch hard drives in the hard drive caddy on the side far front. So that's basically it when we're talking about the full configuration. The only thing that I was checking out regarding the fans is I thought they were going to be tranquil, but they aren't. They're just some regular fans that you get with this case. So regarding the airflow, performance and benchmarks, I think I'm quite satisfied because I'm running here the Skeleton 360 addressable RGB, which performed quite nice, above average when we're taking all the AAOs that are reviewed in 360, 240 and 420. So going with the AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, we have CPU, and of course we're having 7900 X3D just to get the best comparison. 83 degrees on the CPU, clock speed is 4850 megahertz, while the GPU runs at 62 degrees. So eventually, if you want to get lower thermals, I would suggest pushing these fans on the power supply shroud a bit higher RPMs, which will create a better airflow, even better airflow, and could lower it down to 60. Then we go with Cinebench R23. We have 10 runs, and the average for those 10 runs with the thermals is 76.3, which is even better than the past review that I did with the Skeleton 360. Then the clock speed is the same, 4975. And finally, what we have is the Cinebench score, which is 26,465, which isn't drastically much higher than the past review that I did with the Skeleton 360, but in general, it's nicely ventilated case, and the Skeleton 360 did perform quite nice. So in the scenario where you're buying a case which is well connected with the I/O ports, you have quite solid amount of dust filters, and the intake with the fans that are pre-installed, regardless if you're going with a air or a RGB, it's quite there. So I'm really digging this case because you only need to buy the cooler. If you're going with an air cooler, I would only suggest placing one additional fan here at the top rear side just to get that dissipation heat exhausted out quicker than just one 120. But regarding everything, it's a nicely configured case with storage, with airflow, with fans, and well, basically looks, because I'm really digging the front panel that extends here through the side, and the tempered glass is even quite nicely placed with pegs, so you don't have to worry about anything regarding that. That's it, ANTEC's P30 AIR, and you have it, as I said, also in addressable RGB version, and that'll be all for today. The link for the P30 AIR is in the description if this case checks all your points for a case that you want to upgrade, and this would give you just an idea. You can always go with the Skeleton 360, which also performs quite nicely in this case, but in general I'm also saying it performs very well, and that'll be all for today. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen my content, me, or anything that I've done so far, you can always subscribe, hit the like button and click the notification bell for future content, which will be coming quite shortly. Thank you for watching. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.